Hello there lovelies, Ashley Michelle here and welcome back to my YouTube channel where you can find beginner beauty tutorials and reviews, and today we're doing a full glam fall makeup look, and this is the second portion of this video. So if you want to see how I got this eye look, definitely make sure you check out part 1, but this is part 2 where we're going to get all into this flawless face as well as these lips. So without further ado, let's just jump right into the video. Alright y'all, so we are back with a full glam beat today. As you all can already see, my eye makeup is already done. If you guys want to see part 1 of this video, how I did this dramatic but simple eye look, definitely make sure that you tap the iCards as well as check out the description box down below, because I am going to link that tutorial. I do show you guys the full steps how to complete this eye look. But this portion of the video is all about the face, and we're going to do some chit-chatting and we're going to keep it real today. So yes, let's just get right into it. So the first thing I'm going to do is prime my face, and I'm also going to insert a clip in the beginning right about here of what I did for my skin prep today. I did prep my skin this morning using my favorite Mary Kay Botanical Effects skin regimen, and I also went on ahead and primed my lips as well, so that's why they're looking a little bit, you know, they're looking a little juicy or whatever. So I went on ahead and primed my face and skin with my skincare, my face and skin, my lips and my skin with my Mary Kay skincare. So definitely make sure you check the deets for everything that I'm using in the description box. I'm going to put everything down below. So first I'm going to prime my skin with one of my favorite primers. I'm going to be going in with two of my favorite primers, the Milk Hydro Grip Primer as well as the Mary Kay SPF primer. I like using this primer just because it has SPF in it. And you guys, even if you're not like going to the beach or anything like that, you need to make sure you have some SPF in your skincare regimen. And I'm also trying out a new primer today, you guys. This is the NYX Bear With Me Hydrating Jelly Primer. And I'm super excited for this just because I used this on one of my clients. And y'all, it was amazing. So I'm super duper excited to be trying it out for the first time myself. As y'all can see, I haven't opened it, so I saved it for you guys so y'all can get my initial reaction of this primer. So you guys already know I have really oily skin. Well, it's kind of combination oily. In the winter time, around like my nose and my mouth, I do get pretty dry. So that's why we are going in. And like I said, this is going to be a full glam today, so we gotta have all the primers today. We can't skip out on primer. And you guys definitely make sure you're adding in a primer and moisturizer to your makeup routine, because it will help your foundation last longer, and it is just also gonna just enhance the look altogether. Like, you definitely need some primer. If you're not priming, I don't know what you're doing. It's 2021. Like, if you wearing makeup and not wearing primer, you need to get it together. So now I'm going in with the NYX Jelly Primer, and you guys, it really does feel like a jelly. So I'm just gonna like add that. Ooh, it feels so cool and like smooth. Oh my gosh, it feels so good. So I'm just gonna add this in. Not gonna add too much because I already got 2 other primers on, but definitely going to get it in the spots where I know I get pretty dry, which is around my nose and my upper lip. And I'm just going to blend everything in with my fingers, and I'm going to let this primer sit before I actually go in with my foundation. That's one thing that I have learned. If you let your primer sit before you actually put your foundation on, it just allows it to seep into your skin a whole lot more before actually going in with that foundation. But anyways, you guys, so as y'all saw in my last chit chat makeup video, I've been dealing with grief, and on top of that, you guys, like, my mind in the last 2 months was just all over the place. Like, I really was in like a really just toxic, deep, like, depression, anxiety, like all of that. Like, y'all, I've been in and out of the emergency room, can't sleep, afraid to go to sleep. Like, just a lot of things have been going on with your girl these past couple months. But today is not like a woe is me, oh my gosh, let's cry it out video. Today we talking about how I'm coming back. It's a process, y'all, but like compared to how I was feeling a couple months ago, your girl is starting to feel more like herself and feeling better than what I used to in the past. So while I'm letting this primer seep into my skin, I'm gonna also use a beauty sponge to kind of just further reinforce that I want this primer to get into my pores. So I'm just using a beauty sponge to just kind of like push it in my pores, so that way it's a barrier, so that way it really is a real barrier. That's what it is. Primer is a barrier between your skin and your foundation. Now that I have my face primed, I'm gonna go in with my Mary Kay oil mattifier, and this is just gonna help also with the oiliness. So I do get pretty oily in my T-zone, which is your forehead and your nose. So I'm just gonna apply the Mary Kay oil mattifier on my nose and on my forehead, and I'm gonna take a little bit over my lip as well. This product, it has a nice cooling sensation as well, and it comes out pretty liquidy, but it does dry. Matte per se. It kind of does dry matte, so I'm just gonna let that sit on my skin as well, so that way it can help me out with the oil control. And I really do love this product. Like, I typically, y'all seen me in the past, I go in with a layer of translucent powder, but with this product, using this product, adding it in, I don't really have to do that. So I'm super glad that I just upped my makeup kit and added that product in. So I'm just gonna let that sit a little bit before I actually start applying my face makeup. Like I was saying, you guys, losing my father really just has been challenging my faith. Like, I've really been struggling, you guys, being real with y'all these last couple months, really trusting God, just trying to have faith in him. Like, my mind just literally has just been like, really? Like, are you serious? Like, how am I supposed to trust you? How am I supposed to have faith? You done took my daddy. Like, what am I supposed to do? Like, you know, I'm just keeping it real with y'all. Like, I really ain't been too happy with God lately with this whole situation. But through his word, and that's where I want to start, you guys. Like, I don't care how many self-help books you read, how many motivational speakers you listen to. Like, I'm just keeping it real. Like, if y'all don't have God speaking through you and his word, if you're not reading and getting into your word, it don't matter. You still gonna be the same. But, you know, no offense to whatever, you know, higher power that you know, do, whomever is watching. But if you don't have, you know, that spiritual connection working in and through you, I mean, it's really nothing you can do. It's really nothing you can do, because it really starts inside, in the soul, in the heart, in the mind. So, y'all, like, I really just had to, I know it sounds contradictory, but even though I was having these negative thoughts, I had to go back to the source. Like, okay, like, I had to remind myself, like, God will never leave me nor forsake me. You know, he said I can cast all my cares on him because he cares for me. So I really had to, like, go back to some old scriptures and just really remind myself. And it was a daily thing, you guys. Like, I had to listen to my word, read my word, literally open up the book and read my word pretty much like every day, every morning, every night. Like, I do want to get into the habit where I can be that consistent every morning, every night. But y'all, I literally been in the trenches this last 2 months, every morning, every night, like reading something, whether it was 5 minutes, you know, 30 minutes, like whatever I needed to do. And not just reading the word, but praying. So being honest, like how I'm talking to you guys now, I had to chop it up with God and was like, look, I'm not feeling this. What am I supposed to do? Like, you know, and I can't think of the verse right now off the top of my head, but I will find it and put it in the description box. But it was basically the verse that just says, like, everything has a season. So, like, there's a season, you know, to grow. There's a season to die. There's a season to, you know, be still, listen. So he just had to remind me that, you know, death is unavoidable, but it's not the end. So, y'all, that's the first thing that I had to really remind myself, like, death is not the end. Like, don't be afraid to die. Like, it's okay. Like, there's eternal life after this. So I just had to really, like, reinforce that thought in my head, like, constantly. Anytime that I was starting to be like, getting into my feelings, getting all depressed and sad, I had to kind of remind myself, like, no, that's not what the word says. That's not what the word says. That's not what God says. So that was the main thing. I had to reinforce that. So what I'm gonna do first before I actually apply my foundation is color correct. I do have a little bit of darkness underneath my eyes, so I'm gonna be using the NARS Creamy Radiant Concealer in Chocolate. And let me get my new one. I'm just gonna take the wand applicator and just literally apply a little bit right underneath my eye, just like that. The reason why I'm using a concealer that's closer to my skin tone is so that way it'll blend flawlessly with the foundation and you won't even be able to tell that I have, you know, the concealer right there. So I'm gonna damp my beauty sponge real quick, come back, and I'm gonna blend this out. So I'm just gonna take the tip of my beauty sponge and just blend that out. And you guys, in addition to just reading my word and praying to God constantly, I've also been picking up my pen and really journaling. Yes, I've been journaling, you guys, and just trying to do it every day, but being really more consistent with the journaling, just getting my thoughts down on paper. Not to be putting it out there, but I am looking for, you know, professional counseling as well. So I definitely would say that's important, you guys. Please, if you can, go talk to a professional. Like, it's also important to vent to your family and your friends, talk your feelings out, write your feelings down, and also pray about everything, but you still want to seek that professional help because, y'all, that's what they're there for. There's professionals out here in anything, any area that you could think of. Like, please utilize them. One thing that I really want to voice on my channel, like, it's okay to seek help. Like, you're not crazy. There's nothing wrong with you trying to go, you know, better yourself with a professional. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. We already look a little bit more lifted underneath the eye just by applying that concealer. And now I'm going to be going in with the NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop full coverage foundation, and this is in the shade Sienna. This has been one of my favorite foundations lately, and I'm just going to, I think I'm going to apply it directly on my face today. I normally apply it on the back of my hand, but I think I'm going to go directly on the face. So it does have a nice little pump, so you can, you know, control how much you use. I'm going to start with 2 pumps of foundation, and then I'm just going to build up if I see fit. And I'm not going to bring the foundation all the way up to where the concealer is underneath my eyes, just because we're going to go in with more concealer on top of that. So to blend out the foundation, today I'm going to be using the Mary Kay Liquid Foundation Brush. It is a nice dense brush. It has nice soft bristles, and it's pretty flexible as well. So I'm just going to blend out in circular motions all over my face. And I'm going to try to avoid putting a lot of product on my nose just because my nose sweats like crazy. So again, I'm just going to be using circular motions to blend out the foundation. And another thing, you guys, that I have been doing to just get my mind in check is reading. And I've been reading a variety of different books. I've been reading books that have been specifically on the topic of grief. I've also been reading books that have been specifically on the topic of just thinking more positive, you know, trying to retrain your brain to think positive thoughts and not negative thoughts, which I know it seems like such an easy task, but you guys, like, especially when you're in a season or a state of crisis, or just like not your best, it's not as easy as you think, y'all, to think positively. Like, the littlest thing can throw you off and have you just like, oh my gosh, what in the world? So that was 2 pumps of foundation, and the bottom of my face is pretty much taken care of, and I'm just taking whatever the remainder is, bringing it up on the nose. And I'm going to do 1 more pump of foundation, but this time I'm actually going to pump it on the brush, just so that way you guys can see how the foundation just sits on top of the brush. It doesn't really go anywhere. I really like that, so that way more of the product is actually getting on your face and it's not getting stuck in the brush. So I really like that with this Mary Kay foundation brush. And again, I'm just gonna dab it dab it first across on the forehead, and then we're going to blend everything out. And I'm just going to take a little bit down the nose as well. And then we're just using circular motions going outward, blending out that foundation. You do want to make sure that with your foundation, especially if your skin changes in the summer and winter, like for me, I'm a little bit lighter in the winter time than in the summertime, so definitely just make sure that you're blending your foundation down your neck, down your jawline, up against your ears, and up into your hairline, so that way everything just blends together flawlessly. And before I get into highlighting, well, actually, while I'm highlighting, I'm going to be sharing with you guys some of the books that I've been reading. So the first book that I've been reading is called Healing After Loss. It's kind of like well, it's a meditation, so it's a daily meditation. It's by Martha W. Hickman, and basically it's a year's worth of meditations. As you guys can see, I have some things highlighted and some notes. So simply what I've been doing with this book is reading it in the morning or at nighttime. I've been trying to stay consistent doing every day. Some days, you know, things happen, you get busy, schedule doesn't go always as planned, but for the most part, I have been reading this book every morning. Either I do it in the morning or at night, either one. And with this book, the thing that I like about it too is they're pretty short. So as you can see, I mean, this is one day, so it's really not that much to read on there, but I really do like it just because it's short, it's to the point, it's really good, you know, just waking up in the morning trying to get that quick motivation that you need dealing with grief. There's one little excerpt that I'm just going to share with you guys real quick. Not going to read all of it, but it just says, like, I look forward to the day when images of my loved one's life are no longer associated with the event of my loved one's death. So one thing that has been really getting at me lately is I keep replaying like the funeral in my mind. I keep replaying that. I keep having like dreams about it, dreams about just the whole like last moment situation, and that's really just been like messing up my mood, messing me up as far as just trying to get sleep. So that's something that like I really had to journal and put in my prayer notes and just say like, God, like help me to stop thinking about this, and just giving me you know, positive emotions and feelings when I look back at pictures and videos of my dad, because I did go through a period where, you guys, I didn't even want to look at pictures of him just because I just kept remembering like the last time I saw him, you know. So just trying to really remind myself like, you know, it already happened, like it's okay, you can move through this, like he's no longer in pain, like you can, you know, just having to really keep reminding myself like, you know, that was a moment in time, but that time, you know, has passed. Like, you know, it's a new moment. Remember the positive. Like, that was not the only moment you had with your dad. You had your dad your whole life. So think about those moments, you know, prior, not just dwelling on, oh my gosh, he's gone, oh my gosh, like, you know. So that's one thing that this book has definitely been helping me with, those daily meditations, just those quick things to remind me, okay, like, this ain't the end, like, there's life after death and there's eternal life as well. So now we're going to highlight, you guys, and I'm going to be using two highlighters from the NARS Creamy Radiant Concealers. I'm going to be using the shade Walnut, and I'm also going to be using the shade Caramel. Caramel is going to give me like my snatched, really, really highlighted look. And Walnut is just going to still highlight me, but just be more of a yellow tone. I really like a yellow tone highlight versus a really, really like stark bright white highlight, if that makes sense. So I'm just dragging this concealer underneath my eyes. And like I said, I'm going to be using the other shade as well, Caramel. So I'm going to put Caramel on top of Walnut, but I'm going to blend out Walnut first. And I'm also going to be taking it over top of my lip as well, a little bit on the chin, and I'm also going to take it down the bridge of my nose. Just like that, and the forehead as well. A little bit on the forehead, not too much because I kind of got a big forehead anyway, so we're not trying to really over accentuate that too much. And I'm going to be using a damp beauty sponge to blend this out. as well, so I'm just going to press it in as well as blending it outward. So y'all, the second book that I have really been enjoying, and I've already watched the video series to this book, is Crazy Faith by Pastor Michael Todd. Y'all, I really have been loving and enjoying this book. I already watched the video series, like I said, and I don't know, the book is just so much better. You really just get to break things down a lot more in the book versus in the sermons. And I do suggest you guys, regardless of what emotional state you're in, definitely go check that video series out and grab the book as well, because I'm telling you, like, your faith game gonna be elevated for sure. So this was definitely something, like I said, I've seen the video series before and it really blessed me, so I just had to remind myself to go back and actually grab the book and remind myself, okay, I need to have faith. Like, this is what it all boils down to. Like, even though I'm faced with this situation of grief right now, like, I have to have faith that, you know, I'm gonna get through this, and there's more than just being stuck in this moment. Not saying that you're forgetting, because Lord knows I will never forget my father, like, never. But it's just leaving that pain where it needs to be and moving forward and really having joy through the whole entire situation. And that's something that my pastor, Michael Jones, has been talking about lately, just having joy regardless of what's going on. And I can't think of the scripture, but I'm going to leave it down below when I find it. Basically, just giving thanks to God in each and every situation. Like, it's so, I'm not gonna say easier said than done, because it's not easy. Like, you guys, it'd be some days where, like, I don't want to be doing praise and worship and thanking God. Like, that's not how I feel. But you got to get over your emotions. Your emotions are gonna lie to you and play with you all day long. So you can't, you know, let your emotions distract you. You got to remind yourself to get in the word. What does the word say? And y'all, like, that's really just been helping me, remembering what the word says. Like, I'll never leave you nor forsake you. Like, I give you peace that surpasses all understanding. So that's my number one thing I've been praying for too, y'all, to just have peace. And literally, you guys, day by day by day, it's just be getting a whole lot better. So I'm going to go ahead and blend the rest of my concealer out, and then we're going to go in with the other concealer shade. And as I'm blending it out, I'm just keeping it in this general direction. I'm not dragging it too far down, just pushing it up underneath my eyes. And to set my highlighted areas in place, I'm going to be first using the Laura Mercier powder in translucent, and then I'm going to go over top of that with the Danessa Myricks powder in the shade number 3 after I use the Laura Mercier translucent setting powder. I'm going to use a big fluffy powder brush and take the Maybelline powder in Toffee, and I'm just going to go all over my face with the Toffee powder. And I'm just going to blend it all together as well. You guys, the last book that I've literally been loving, this book is the Get Out of Your Head by Jeannie Allen, and it's basically talking about stopping the spiral of toxic thoughts. And you guys, I've already finished the book. I'm restarting it again, and that's how you know this book is just good. It is definitely worth the buy. You guys, she literally just breaks it down in so many different ways. She gives examples from her own life and talks about how she struggled with toxic thoughts, and literally just how important it was for her to keep reminding herself, like, you have a choice. And that's the main thing this book talks about. Like, you have a choice. Like, when that negative thought comes, like, you have a choice to either stay with that negative thought and think another negative thought and another negative thought and another negative thought, or you could just stop the spiral and just say, you know what, I have a choice. Like, I have a choice. So like when I was definitely being afraid to go to sleep and just thinking like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna die in my sleep, and I just had to remind myself, like, no, like, God gave his only son Jesus Christ so we can have life eternally. Like, he comes so we can have life. So no, like, just those little things right there with those scriptures, just reminding myself, like, you got a choice, and you have somebody more powerful that can handle anything that comes your way, that's looking out for you. So y'all, this book has just definitely been just eye-opening, and she not only just breaks it down like from a spiritual way, she just breaks it down scientifically too. Like, you guys, in this book she just talks about so much how thinking negatively and just being stressed out and anxiety, like having a really negative mindset really can impact you physically, and like how people are literally just going to the doctor because they just think it so negatively. It's getting them high blood pressure, anxiety, just all over the thing, all of those things. And y'all, I'm definitely a living testimony to that. Like, you guys, like I said earlier, I've been in and out of the emergency room, like, don't know what's going on with me, just all over the place. And literally it starts in the mind. Like, it's all in the mind. Like, it's all in the inside, y'all. So if y'all didn't take anything from this talking portion of the video, just remember that you have a choice. It all starts with you, and you have a choice, okay? You got the power. So now we are going to move on to bronzing, so that way we can just bring a little bit more color to the face. So I am going to be using the Beauty Bakery Brownie Bar, and I'm going to be going in with the shade in the middle. It's kind of like an orangey brown shade. I just didn't want to use the darker shade just because this is still kind of a daytime look. Even though it's really dramatic, I didn't want to use the darkest shade just because I didn't want to give a too heavy contoured look. So I am going to be using my favorite e.l.f. angled brush. This is like a very slim chiseled brush, which is perfect for getting in the hollows of those cheekbones. So I'm just going to take that, and I'm going to be grabbing that middle shade, like I said, from the Beauty Bakery Brownie Bar, and I'm just gonna suck my face in like this and just go right on my cheekbone with this color. Also gonna take it up around the temples of my forehead as well, and then just bring it across the hairline too. So I'm going to go ahead and set my face, you guys, using the Mary Kay setting spray before I actually go in with my highlighter and my lip combination for today.